If you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, stretched way too thin, or just totally bogged down by the daily grind, you are in exactly the right place. We've got a lot of ground to cover today, so let's jump right in.
What if I told you the actual secret to a happier life is just caring less? I really want you to think about this for a second. How much of your precious, limited energy do you completely waste every single day worrying about things that literally do not matter? We pour our hearts into winning pointless arguments with random strangers on the internet or, trying to impress people we don't even like, and it leaves us absolutely exhausted. The entire philosophy here basically boils down to this: choose wisely and let go. You just can't care about everything all the time. Our brains have a finite amount of bandwidth, right? Yet we tend to treat our emotional energy like it's some sort of unlimited data plan. True, sustainable happiness requires radically, and I mean aggressively, prioritizing exactly what gets your attention and simply dropping the rest.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. The Toxic Positivity Trap. Dismantling the Delusion.
We live in this culture that constantly pushes this destructive desire to be perfectly positive all the time. The whole good vibes only trap. But the text argues that the reality of negative emotions is actually far more pragmatic. We have to fundamentally reframe how we look at hardship. Pain is completely normal. Failure isn't just common, it is absolutely necessary. Think of it like going to the gym, right? Your muscles literally have to tear in order to grow stronger. Accepting life's inevitable difficulties doesn't make you a pessimist, it builds way greater resilience.
And a huge part of building that resilience means swallowing a pretty tough pill. You are not special. Stay humble. Believing you're exceptionally unique and destined for effortless greatness, that only creates completely unrealistic expectations. And when reality doesn't match up with that grand vision, you suffer. Humility, on the other hand, creates the necessary room for actual, tangible improvement.
Moving on to Section 2. Choose what truly matters. Intentional calibration. Because our time and emotional energy are strictly limited resources, we really have to look at the landscape of our lives and ask ourselves, which problems are actually worth solving? We have to actively evict the energy drainers, like chasing that hollow social media validation or stressing over tiny, annoying daily inconveniences, to make room for what genuinely helps us grow. Things like our physical and mental health, our families, and deeply meaningful work. You simply cannot hold on to both.
The quality of your life depends entirely on the metrics you use to evaluate it. The source material draws a hard line here between unhealthy and healthy values. If your values are unhealthy, say chasing fame or needing constant approval, you're putting your happiness completely at the mercy of other people. And honestly, that is a game you will eventually lose. But healthy values like honesty, responsibility, and personal growth, those are entirely within your control.
Which brings us to Section 3, responsibility and embracing failure, the core pivot. This is the exact moment we have to stop playing the blame game and start taking radical responsibility for our own existence. Look, horrible things happen. Sometimes a situation is absolutely not your fault. But the hard truth here is that your response to that situation remains your responsibility. You can't control the world, but you always control your attitude, your choices, and your actions. Internalizing that gives you incredible power.
And look, as you take action, you are gonna fail. But failure is your greatest teacher. Highly successful people fail fast and they fail forward because every misstep is essentially just data. It's hard-earned wisdom that refines your next decision. By experiencing failure, you build better decision-making skills and real earned confidence. Avoiding failure doesn't protect you, it just means you're completely avoiding growth.
There's a really vital quote from the text I want to share here. Growth begins when you admit mistakes, accept weaknesses, question your beliefs, and stay open to learning. Brutal self-awareness is infinitely more valuable than blind self-confidence. You have to be honest with yourself, drop the ego, and actually allow yourself to be a student of your own mistakes.
Let's look at Section 4, the power of saying no, setting boundaries. Once you actually know your values, you have to protect them, and that is exactly what boundaries are for. Every yes to something unimportant is often a no to something important. Trying to please everyone is an endless, exhausting trap. If you say yes to, some neighborhood committee you don't even really care about, you're literally stealing an hour away from reading to your kids or working on your own personal growth. You've got to protect your yes. Now we arrive at the final part. Section 5, Action, Meaning, and Death, the ultimate deadline. We arrive at what might be the most empowering concept of all, our mortality.
When we define mortality in this context, we're not doing it to be morbid. Recognizing that life is limited is a clarion call. It gives every boundary you set immediate, undeniable weight. It's a stark reminder to spend your time wisely, to build deep relationships, and to live uncompromisingly. Life actually becomes infinitely more meaningful when you fully recognize that your time is finite.
So, let's trace this logical progression into reality. Because our time is ticking, we have to accept the challenges that truly matter. We then use those exact challenges to solve meaningful problems in our lives and in the lives of others. Happiness isn't some passive state you just wait for, hoping it magically appears when circumstances are perfect. Happiness is actively built through purposeful, everyday action.
Ultimately, this explainer isn't asking us to become numb or cynical or to just stop caring entirely. Far from it. It's asking us to care more intentionally. It's a call to accept life's difficulties and to focus our limited energy fiercely, purposefully, and unapologetically on what genuinely matters to us, while just letting the rest go.
Our time together on this explainer is up, but your clock keeps ticking. We are all on a deadline. So the text leaves us with one vital question to ponder. If your time is truly running out, what trivial problem will you choose to let go of today? Take control of your focus, drop the things that don't matter, and start intentionally living for the things that do.